Welcome to our show today. I am delighted to have Katie Watkins from Black Sheep Family Farm here in Floyd, Virginia. We're going to be talking about her farm, her CSA, some new stuff that I found that she's doing that I had no idea that she was doing, so we'll get to talk about that. So let's get started. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Thank you.
So tell me, let's start off, how did you get into farming? Were you always a farmer, raised on a farm, just thought this is what you wanted to do, or did you have a life before this and then suddenly you started this farming thing?
I did, yeah, life before. My husband and I are from South Florida.
Wow.
So we were born and raised city kids. And when we started to have our own family and started having children, we cared about food and healthy food and wanted to learn more about what it meant to grow it on our own. So we left the city and we traveled for a bit on different farms, and
Nice.
here we are with our own.
Nice. So you kind of apprenticed farmer
We
before
did.
you...
Yes, we interned at several farms over several years.
Wow, I didn't know you could do that. So there's a new option in farming. And
Yeah.
so you end up from South Florida, like South Beach, Miami, that
Fort
far
Lauderdale.
south? Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so pretty happening town.
Yeah.
To Floyd, Virginia.
Yeah.
So how does that work? How
It's
do you
a
end
long
up
story in
here?
between. Yeah, it was a rude awakening at first to leave that, and the first farm we ended up on had no running water, no electricity,
Oh my gosh.
and we had 3 babies under 3, and we lived in an old corn crib in an 8x10
Okay,
space.
a little different than Lauderdale.
So it was, after that, anything looked good.
Yeah.
After that, my expectations for what you really needed and what mattered were shifted.
Wow.
And yeah, so we traveled to a couple different places: Maryland, East Tennessee, Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
And always growing our own food on a small scale,
Mhm.
and then working for other larger farms.
Okay. So when you started your farm here, were you just pretty much doing it for your family at first?
We were doing it for our family, and then also for another farm. And
Okay.
then, so we worked for a few other farms here in Floyd, and then last year, 2013, we were able to start our very own.
Nice. And your
on the
farm
land
is
that we live on.
a CSA, which is a community.
Community supported agriculture.
Okay. So you have people that kind of support either financially or through work what you're doing on the farm, and in return, then they get some of the harvest of the things that you grow and
That's
raise
right.
there.
So they subscribe. So we support 34 families
Wow.
in Floyd, Radford, and Blacksburg. And in the winter months, they'll prepay.
Okay.
And then during the season for 24 weeks between May and October, they get a harvest of whatever's fresh and abundant.
Nice.
So they get whatever's coming in that week.
Wonderful.
They'll get a big box.
Wonderful. And really nice for people like myself who would love to have a garden. I have no
Yeah.
time to have a garden,
Right.
but can
That's
invest
really
in.
common.
Yeah. How nice. So tell me, like, how big is the farm? What's on the farm? What's happening at the farm?
So we actively use around 4 acres.
Okay.
We keep sheep on about 2 acres. They're fenced off. And on the other 2.5 acres, we're actively growing vegetables. And we don't leave any portion lying fallow. So we actively grow cover crops.
Okay.
And, to constantly keep that soil fed
Wow.
and nourished. And we practice constant rotation
Yeah.
with
Yeah, gotta keep
what
those
we grow.
minerals.
Yeah.
Don't want to deplete the soil.
It's a science, yeah.
I bet,
It
yeah,
is.
a bit bigger science than my little, 6x6 plot of land that I'm growing tomatoes and basil on, I'm sure, but absolutely. So your growing season's not year round. When do you get started with your planting, and when are you finished for the year or the season?
So we are seeding in the greenhouse as early as late February.
Wow,
We're
okay.
starting to seed certain things that have a long germination and start rate, and we're starting to plant and to plow and to plant in March and April, and then we are growing and harvesting through December.
So what do you plant in the cold? Because March and April here in Floyd is still a little chilly sometimes.
Yeah, so it depends. I mean, it's constantly a dance with the weather.
Yeah.
We're constantly looking at, what the next couple of weeks look like, and if it's wet or dry, and when we can plow, and when we can. But some crops, the spring crops, are meant for for cooler weather. So
Wow.
we can do things like spring peas and certain lettuces, cabbage.
Okay.
Some of the brassicas like cooler weather.
I need to
Kale.
come talk to you before I do my next one because I'm always seem to be
Do.
planting at the wrong time and I'm why aren't my stuff growing? And
Well, and that's even, I mean, we've had a late frost in May
Yes.
and lost a lot of crops. That's
Wow.
happened, and that's common to farmers. There's so much that's unknown and out of our control.
absolutely.
So it's a gamble. but,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So in a day, how much time are you putting into farming? When's your day start? When does it end?
Starts at sunup, and and my husband, it's his full-time thing. I mean, he eats, sleeps, and breathes the farm,
Wow.
so he's out there. Feels like around the clock.
Yeah.
And we have five kids,
Whew.
so that feels like a segment of my day, and a lot of times they're involved in what we're doing, and
Nice.
the harvest, and the weeding, and the hoeing, and the washing, and the packing. And they're not necessarily out there, for an 8-hour stretch, but
Right.
they'll come and go, and in the winter months we school them. We
Okay.
focus on that primarily. 'cause
Okay, so you're
summer months-
homeschooling?
We do, we homeschool.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so
Wonderful.
there's always animal chores to be done. That's probably the first and the last thing that happen in a day, and in between
Wow.
whatever needs to go.
Kids
on.
like it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they do. That's all
So
they
far.
know. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Do they get to Lauderdale to see the other piece of life? Do you ever go back and expose them to?
We do.
Yeah.
It's like it's a foreign land for sure.
Yeah.
So we go back maybe once a year or every other year to see family. Our families
Okay.
are still there.
Nice.
So they get a taste of it, but
Nice.
I feel really blessed to be able to raise them in this lifestyle and,
Yeah.
and not the concrete.
Yeah. Yes. Having
Goodness.
having come from big city America, it's a gem that
It
people
really is.
don't necessarily understand the move to a slower, more simple life like this, but it is. It's a really special thing to
It
be able to
is.
raise your family in this environment. So kudos to you. Kudos, and they're happy on the farm. That's great. So lots of hours,
Mhm.
5 kids.
Mhm.
Hats off to you. How do you keep it together? How do you keep it going? How do you look so fab? Well, I guess on the farming does it, but how do you keep yourself well and healthy with all those hours and raising kids and homeschooling?
Well, I don't want to give the illusion that I have it all together or do it all well. But
It's good to know
but
you're like
health-
the rest of us, so we
please.
appreciate that.
Oh, please, of course. I mean, health is important to us, and I think just the nature of what we do lends itself to health. We're growing amazing food,
Yeah.
and so we are up to our, up to our bellies,
Yeah.
quite literally, in amazing food. So we eat really well. Food is really important to us. Eating whole foods and nutrient-rich foods, and I think the nature of the work itself is essentially exercise. I mean, we do a lot of squatting, a lot of bending, a lot of lifting, a lot of walking.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it's funny. So if I'll weed a 200 foot row of something and then go back the other side, I've done 400 squats
Yeah, you got
in
your
2
workout.
hours. So it is quite a workout, and some days I do that every day, and
Oh my
sometimes I
gosh.
might do it twice.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then, my husband, he tends to bend and not squat, so then his back is probably in much better shape than mine.
Yeah.
But just the nature of what
what
we
you
do
do,
is
yeah.
it
So
forces us to stay fit. I
Yeah,
think.
health is really your lifestyle. It's not even something you kind of have to think about or I gotta go to the gym to do or
Right.
do. It's just really what you do, what you wake up and live and breathe every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really nice. That's really nice because for so many people, and you all know, I know because I'm not farming like Katie, trying to stay healthy is for most people a matter of fitting that into their day,
Into the
some
day.
sort of way. Where for you, it is your day. Just being healthy, being outside,
A
being
lot of times
grounded.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it always comes back to that. I do feel really fortunate. I
Yeah,
do.
absolutely, absolutely. So tell me your thoughts about your connection to your business and wellness as a whole, whether it's for your family or the families that you serve through your CSA. How does that keep you feeling connected to wellness in the greater sense?
Yeah, I think, well, like what I just mentioned about how like our standards for our family in terms of like nutrition and what we eat and keeping a balance of things, and being able to farm and then provide other families with that is really special too. You know, I feel like we can stay really connected with a lot of friends and neighbors and the community, and kind of share that passion with them as well. I mean, we love making new recipes with what we grow and sharing that with our CSA, and then hearing back from them recipes they've found, seeing pictures, and it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, a lot of times people say we would have never bought that at the store, but we got it in our share, and now we love it, and their kids love it.
Nice.
They're seeing their kids love, you know, raw sugar snap peas or our carrots, or
wow.
And so it feels like revolutionary on a really small scale. You know, it's like, but it's really special to us, and I think that being able to share that with other families, you know, with raising children and as a community enjoying things like that,
Absolutely.
locally grown, family grown, amazing food that we put a lot of love into growing it and harvesting and sharing it.
Yeah,
so.
And that's got to be a good feeling where you are, you know, personally responsible at some level for providing health-giving food to other people. I mean, what a way to give back, you know, to the community and people that put a lot of their faith and trust in you to provide them with really great, amazing food that you're growing. That's that's a pretty special way to come full circle.
Exactly.
With what you're doing. Absolutely. So, any big things on the horizon for Black Sheep Family Farm? Are you growing, expanding, more families, got new stuff you haven't grown before?
My husband is always experimenting with trying new things, or he's such a science nerd about, you know, soil composition and things on the microbial level. So he's always sort of like, we have a blog, our farm does, and so he sort of notes those things on there. The thing that I think we're most excited about as a family is just taking small steps to becoming more sustainable as a family, growing some of our own meat. We keep sheep, and we keep them for wool and for meat. So we raise lambs, and we have pigs and chickens and meat rabbits.
Wow.
So that's exciting for us. For a long time we were nomadic, and then we've been here in Floyd for 4.5 years, and we've sort of, you know, taken these steps, and now we have our own farm. And so to take, you know, these greater steps of growing more and more of our own food, and we barter quite a bit with friends and other people for the things that we can't grow.
Nice.
Or provide for
ourselves. For those that don't know, the barter system is alive and well here in Floyd, Virginia. So yes, a lot of transactions happen through the barter. So that's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So so we're excited about that. We're excited about those baby steps, and
looking forward to more great things in the future. You should be excited. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with us today. And I'm going to have to make it out to the farm, and maybe one of these days I will get myself involved in that CSA so I can get 20-some weeks of really great food that I can't seem to find time to grow myself. That would be wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Thanks so much, Katie.
Thanks, Lenny.
Welcome to Well with Elle. I'm Dr. Lanice Anderson, and today we're going to be talking about digital eye strain. Now, this might sound a little strange to you. You might not quite know what it is, but you are probably being affected by it. We all live in the high-tech world, and we all spend far too much time, more than likely, on our digital devices. Your phone, your iPad, your laptop, your computer, even sitting in front of a television can be a great source of digital eye strain. So today we're going to talk a little bit about digital eye strain, and we're going to give you some tips about things that you can do to help reduce digital eye strain for you and everybody that you love. In the high-tech world that we live in, more than 70% of people are finding that digital eye strain is a common problem. According to the American Optometric Association, digital eye strain is a problem for more than 70% of Americans. How do you know if you have digital eye strain? You might be experiencing things like headaches, blurred vision, eye pain, redness in the eyes. Your vision might even begin to double, particularly later in the day after you've been in front of your laptop or on your phone for a long time. And you might even find that focusing becomes a really big problem for you. All of these different symptoms are associated with eye strain. The good news is there are quite a few things that you can do to help reduce eye strain. So here are some of them. One thing you definitely want to do is take a break. We spend way too much time in front of the computer. It's really good that every 15 minutes or so, even if you don't get up from your computer, you learn to focus away at something at a distance. It helps the eye muscles to retrain themselves and really helps to relieve eye strain on the eyes. Another great exercise you can do is called palming. Basically what you do here is close your eyes and take the palms of your hands and cup over your eyes and just breathe deeply while you're doing that. It's kind of like meditation for the eyes. Now, while you're doing it, make sure that your neck and your shoulders stay really relaxed because believe it or not, tension in this area can actually result in tension in the eyes. Another great thing that you can do is remember to blink. Believe it or not, when you are spending a lot of time staring into your laptop, getting work done, meeting those deadlines, you often don't blink as much as you think that you do. So, try to be really mindful of blinking while you're looking at your electronic device because what this does is it helps to coat the cornea or the outer surface of the eye with nutrients and vitamins that help to nourish it and actually help to bring oxygen to the eye and will really help to sharpen your vision in the long run. Another thing that's really important with regard to avoiding digital eye strain is to make sure that you keep the light on your monitor nice and bright. What will happen is if you have low light, it actually makes the light that's emitted from your monitor flicker at a different rate that causes a lot of eye strain. Same thing happens when you have fluorescent lights in a room, that they flicker and they actually will make your eyes more tired more quickly. And it can lead to eye strain and often is the cause of headaches for a lot of people. So if you have a bright light on your monitor, make sure it's nice and bright, and that will actually cause your pupils to adjust to the light differently, helping them to make it easier to focus so that you can reduce eye strain. Always, always, you want to make sure that you are getting your body the right nutrients that it needs so that it can do what it's supposed to do, which is to be healthy. That just means eat a really good diet, make sure that you're getting rest, take some vitamins if you need to, and specifically look at vitamins that are good for the eye. Vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin E, because believe it or not, your eye is one of your energy hogs in your body. It really needs a lot of nutrients. It's a complex little thing, and it needs a lot of nutrients to stay healthy. Making sure that you're getting adequate rest is also very important with eye strain. One more really important thing that you can do is to check your computer's position. A lot of us, particularly now that we have so many handheld devices and mobile devices that we can use, are not keeping our computers or devices positioned in a way that helps us to reduce eye strain. So if you're on your laptop a lot during the day, you want to make sure that your laptop is placed at least 20 to 28 inches away from you, and you want to make sure that you don't have a glare on your screen. If you do, reposition it. Yep, take the time to get a little measuring tape and measure it because this can really help you to avoid eye strain. We live in a technical world. We're always in front of our computers and our digital devices. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. So use these steps and you can greatly avoid eye strain and increase your eye health so that you can see far into the future. All right, today we are going to work those arms, build up some guns. So we're going to start off with overhead press. You can do this with a weight or without. I'm going to use some light 3-pound weights. And we're going to start off with overhead press. I'm going to start right here and press straight up. And bring it straight down again. Make sure that you're not bringing it down too far. Try to keep your elbows at 90 degrees with your body. You don't want to bring it all the way down, all the way up. Right there and straight up again over your head. That's why they call it overhead press. We're getting started with our 5 minutes. It's going to be the best 5 minutes of your day. Straight up and straight down. This is great for your arms, your shoulders, nice firm arms, because we don't want that flabby stuff happening out there. Straighten them up. We're almost done with our overhead press. And straight from overhead press, we're going to move right in to bicep curls. We're going to hold on to our weight, bring our weights down to our side. Want to make sure that your elbows stay in, and we're just going to curl. Now again, this isn't a speed drill. There's no rule about how many you have to have. If you want to go slower, you can go slower. If you want to go fast, you can get a few more reps in. If you're new at this, you might want to just start off slowly and then work up to doing more reps during the 30 seconds of each exercise. You can challenge yourself. This 5 minutes can take you a long way because each exercise you can continue to challenge yourself. Nice controlled curl, controlling going up and controlling going down. All right, next we're going to do tricep extensions. We're going to put one of the weights down. For tricep extension, we're going to do it overhead. I like to start with our right arm. So take your left hand and hold on to your elbow, and then we're just going to go straight down and straight up. From the side, it's going to look like this. Straight down and straight up. And this hand right here is going to give you support, so you're not kind of going all over the place. This is really going to work the back of the arm. This is that tricep muscle. We're going to work the back of the arm. Straight down and straight up. Again, it's not a speed drill. You're feeling the burn in that shoulder right about now, but you are getting fit. And as we do this, we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So again, you always want to control your weight. Switch hands, left arm straight up. That right hand behind your head, grab onto the elbow for support and stabilization. You can have your legs slightly apart. We're going to go straight down and straight up. Really working that tricep muscle. Might want to soften your knees a little bit while you're doing this as well. Don't want to lock your knees out. And always make sure that you're breathing when you're doing exercise. It's so important. Making sure that you're breathing, nice controlled movements with your exercise. Working those triceps. All right, next we're going to go to bent over row. So we're going to bring the weight down and control. We're going to pick up the other weight. Bent over row. You want to have your weights down in front of you. You want to bend over directly at the waist, right? And then you just want to row up. So you're really pulling back, really working those back muscles. Okay, again, from the side, I'm going to show you what it looks like. You're bent over and you're rowing. Your knees are kind of soft. Always want to keep your core nice and tight. And really working those back muscles and those shoulder muscles straight down and bring it straight back up. You don't want to bring it up too high, but really squeeze those shoulder muscles when you're pulling it up. Nice bent over rows, great for stomach, works your upper back and your lower back as well. Great core strengthening exercise. All right, bent over rows, we're going to go to front raises now. So again, weights down, let's turn around to the front. Place your weights right on your thighs, and this one you're just going to lift straight up. Straight up and straight down. Now you want to make sure your legs are soft here. Your arms can be a little soft too. You don't want to have too much tension in your arms. It's really great for your shoulders. Make sure that you're not lifting the weight too far up. You just want to come parallel to the shoulder and go back down. And don't swing the weight. Remember, control. If the weights are too heavy, put them down. You can be just as effective with no weights at all, but just doing the movement until you can work up to actually using weights. Don't try to overdo it. A little can go a long way, especially in the beginning. Again, great for the shoulders and upper arms. All right, we're going to go down to the floor now. So we're going to put our weights down, we're going to sit down, and we're going to do some reverse bridge dips. So in order to do this, you want to put your hands behind you, you want your fingers facing towards you, up on your heels, and we're going to lift up, lift your butt up off, and you're just going to dip down. Touch your bottom down to the floor. And again, you're working those triceps, you're working your shoulders, you're working a lot of stuff right now, but it's all good. 5 minutes of exercise every day. You can do this at commercial breaks, you can do this while dinner is cooking on the stove. First thing in the morning, you've got 5 minutes. Dip down. Again, there's no speed, there's no rule to how many you have to do. Dip down nice and controlled. If you have to rest, that's fine. Just come on up and keep going. All right. Now we're going to go to one arm push-ups. This should be fun. So we're going to go over on our right hip. You want to take your right arm and cross it. So you kind of lay down like this. Put your right arm up here on your side, and with your left arm, you're actually going to push up. So we're going to push up on our sides and down. It's a little challenging, so you don't have to go fast. Again, this is definitely not a speed drill. Up, nice and controlled, all the way back down again. I know you're feeling the burn, because I definitely am. But for 5 minutes, we can get through anything. And we're doing it together. Just a couple more, and we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. Let's get one more in. All right, let's switch sides. Get on our left hip this time. All the way down on the shoulder, left arm on your side, and using our right arm, we're going to do one arm push-ups again. Again, not a speed drill. Really want to take your time with this, because it's really important to control your motion. And remember to breathe, because that's really important. 5 minutes. Who knew you could get so fit in 5 minutes and get so much accomplished? People think workouts have to take hours and hours and lots of heavy equipment, but you can really accomplish a lot right at home, right in the living room, or the bedroom, or the den, or the sunroom, or wherever you might want to work out. Nice controlled motion. Make sure you're breathing out. Usually exhale on the harder part. All right, and we're at our last exercise. Let's come on up. We're going to do a plank. Now this will be fun. So for your plank, you want to get your elbows down in front of you. And basically it's a static exercise. You're going to be up on your toes. Your body's going to be in the plank position. And we are going to hold it for 30 seconds. Are you ready? Hands in front, up on your toes, and let's go. Now, a plank is good for a lot of different things. It's really a whole body workout. You're working your arms, you're working your shoulders, you're working your stomach, you're working your back. We're getting a lot accomplished right now in this 30 minutes. If you have to rest, it's fine. You can come down on one knee. But if you can stay up for the whole 30 seconds, you definitely want to do that. Make sure you're breathing. We're almost there. Just a few more seconds. You can do it. I know you can. Hold on. And we're done. Come down on your knees and come on up. You just got fit in 5.